Good day, my dear students. Happy 51st VU founding anniversary. I would like to welcome all of you on today's activity from the Office of Student Affairs and Services, headed by our ever-supportive Dean, Dr. Babyboy Benjamin Nebres III. From the Institutional Student Programs and Services Division, our objective is to guide our students, especially our scholars, through this free webinar by giving you information on important aspects of scholarship via an orientation to be given by our University Scholarship Grants in Aid Officer, Dr. Evelyn C. Oliquino. Another objective is to help our student grantees on how to manage their allowances. Our second speaker, Ms. Paulette Gay S. Menguilla, a senior research specialist from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, will share with us her expert knowledge on financial literacy. Before we formally start, please register and also please do not forget to fill out the evaluation form at the end of this webinar to get your e-certificates. You may also type in your questions at the comment section below or message us at our official OSAS FB page. Let us now listen and watch our speakers. Thank you.
Welcome to the orientation of scholars and grantees. May I introduce you to our Dean of the Office of the Student Affairs and Services, Dr. Babyboy Benjamin D. Nevres III. The Director for the Institutional Student Programs and Services Division, Professor Jaslyn T. Imperial. The University Scholarship and Financial Grants in Aid Officer, Dr. Evelyn C. Oliquino. The University RA 10931 Coordinator for TES, Free Tuition, Student Loan, OFW, Ms. Angelica M. Madrinian. The concerns for cash grant for medical students, Ms. Olga Advincula. The concerns for external private stakeholders scholarships, DOST, CHED Full and Half Merit, Ms. Sheila M. Sistina. The concerns for student loan, CHED TDP, CHED Tulong Dunong, TES, Ms. Giselle Thomas. And other concerns for TES, Ms. Narel Abijuela. The Office of the Student Affairs and Services of the Bicol University is in charge of the services and programs that are concerned with academic support experiences of students to attain holistic student development. The OSAS works alongside the academic colleges and units in the development of well-balanced and well-rounded students through the promotion of their general welfare. Its mission is to promote students' access, welfare, achievement, development, and postgraduate success. The Institutional Student Programs and Services has the following services: scholarship and financial assistance, food services, student housing and residential services, foreign international student services, cultural and arts program, development of sports programs. Under the scholarship and financial assistance, this refers to the management, generation, and/or allocation of funds for scholarship and financial aid to deserving students. The office implements the policies and guidelines approved by the Board of Regents on scholarship and financial assistance programs of the Bicol University, such as fellowship and study grants, student assistantships, grants in aid, tuition fee discounts, and student loans. Scholarship and Financial Assistance General Policies. The following policies apply to any of the categories of the scholarships and financial assistance as approved under BOR Resolution Number 40, Series 2000. 1. Scholarship applicants must submit a duly accomplished application for scholarship with a BU-OSAS. This also applies to those with enrollment privilege or educational financial assistance benefits. 2. Only applications for scholarship or enrollment with privilege with complete requirements shall be acted upon favorably by the BU OSAS. 3. A scholar may apply for the scholarship with better benefits and if awarded, shall reimburse the tuition fee discount granted. He/she may also apply for other scholarship provided the benefits shall only complement their current scholarship grant. 4. BU scholarship shall be renewed every semester after meeting the criteria prescribed such as but not limited to 1. Must not obtain a failing mark or incomplete mark. 2. Must have carried the regular load. And 3. All other requirements specific of the scholarship. Number 5. A non-BU or externally funded scholar who files an application for acknowledgement with the Office of Student Services and is evaluated by the same office to qualify as academic scholar shall also be given the distinction as honorific academic scholar. This is under BOR Resolution number 94, Series 2006. 6. BU scholarship or enrollment privilege shall last for only 1 semester, but shall be renewable for the succeeding semester if the student meets the criteria prescribed in the scholarship or enrollment privilege financial assistance program. 7. A student applying for scholarship or enrollment privilege, educational or financial assistance must not obtain a failing or an incomplete mark in any subject, minor or major. In case of incomplete mark, the student may be considered if the reason for the mark is found meritorious. This exemption excludes the academic scholars. 8. A scholar or student with enrollment privilege, educational or financial assistance shall notify in writing the BU OSAS of the following: A. Failure to enroll during the semester. B. Shifting to another course. C. Dropping of any subject or the whole course during the period of scholarship or financial assistance. D. Relinquishment of present scholarship or financial assistance. Scholarship and financial assistance in the university are categorized into academic distinction, academic recognition, university athletes, members of the university band, members of the university cultural group, tertiary education subsidy under RA 10931, scholarship privileges to the students in the graduate school and college of medicine, and the externally funded scholarships. For inquiries and concerns on scholarships, you may contact or message the following Facebook pages: the Bicol University Office of Student Affairs and Services, and the Bicol University TES Grantees. From the BU OSAS family, thank you very much for sharing your precious time with us. We expect that you are satisfied with the information given regarding your scholarship concerns. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Paulette from BSP Legazpi, and today I am tasked to discuss with you financial literacy, or we can also say it's about personal finance, basically crafted for young adults like you. So when I discuss this topic, I always start with this slide, and it boldly says that life is a journey. I know all of you will agree with this because, as we all know, we journey on in life. We begin from point A to point B to point C to point D until we get to the destination that we really want to go to. Okay? But along the way, there are different kinds of roads that we pass through. It could be malubak, it could be paved, it could be something else. So we face a lot of different risks as we journey on in life. And it suffices to say or to ask ourselves, are we really prepared to journey on in life? Are we doing something to actually prepare for this journey called life? So how do we prepare? This is the answer. We need to plan. So we will be more prepared for our future. Why do we need to plan? First and foremost, it prepares us for life cycle events. Life cycle events like those that were flashed at the screen, like post-college days, getting married, starting a family, building up your children's fund for education, and of course, retirement. And then another reason why we have to plan is this. We need to protect ourselves from the unexpected, like job loss, natural calamities, accident, and long-term illness. And another reason, of course, why we need to plan for our future is so we can reach our financial goals. Like what goals? Buying a car and of course buying a house. Sino ba naman ang ayaw magkaroon ng sariling bahay, di ba? So it will be easier for us to achieve these goals if we actually plan, right? Now, let's understand more about you and your money. Now, are you familiar with this icon? Whenever you see this, it means what? In your smartphones, it's the location icon. So try to ask yourselves, where am I now in terms of my finances? Of course, we don't expect you to have already millions of pesos in your savings, unless, of course, you're the son or the daughter of a multimillionaire. Perhaps you have already have that much of savings in your account. But for those who are not lucky to be like the Ayalas or the C's, etc., where are we right now? Do we have actually started building our savings? Do we have like hundreds of pesos or thousands of pesos in our savings, which we try to build up over the years from the aguinaldos, from our ninongs and ninangs, from the savings from our allowances, if there are any? So again, I am asking you, where are you now in terms of your finances? Now, it's best to gauge to actually, or not to gauge, but it's best to know where you are right now because it will be easier for you also to set your goals, your financial goals. Now, let me share this observation. The reason why so many people find themselves in a financial mess is because they do not plan their life goals properly. There are a lot of people who are buried in debt, who have so many accountabilities, who have so many payables because they were not able to plan every single step that they did along their journey. So if we don't actually set goals, we don't actually plan on how we will reach those goals, we will find ourselves in a mess, particularly in a financial mess eventually. But let's try to avoid it as much as possible. Now, let me show you some financial goals because I know that at this point in your life, you already have your own goals. And perhaps one of those goals is in this slide. Okay, what are these? Travel. Millennials, travel is always on the list of goals. I know you will agree with me on that. Of course, it's also our goal to have our own house, car, finish graduate school after college, and then come up with a retirement fund like how much? Like 5 million, 10 million. Own a farmland. That's the key to food sustainability, right? So it's better to produce your own food. So all of us, I think most of us would actually dream of having our own farmland. And another goal here is to have that forever. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Now notice that on each goals, there's a PHP sign or the Philippine peso sign. Why? Because for each and every goal that you can think of, it always go with a price tag. Think of any goal. It has a price tag. For example, travel. If you want to travel, how much is the price tag? How do you compute for the price tag? Compute the fare that you would need, probably the airfare, the bus fare, the tricycle fare, the allowances, the pocket money, etc., the food allowance that you need. All of those, when you sum it up, that's actually the cost of your travel. That's the price tag of your travel goal. Now, owning a house, how much does building a new house cost nowadays? Probably around 1 million for a bungalow house, 2 to 3 million pataas for a 2 or 3 story house. Cars, of course, cars don't come in free. No, you won't own a car without spending anything. Well, perhaps you'll be gifted with one if you're really that lucky. But after the gift giving part, you have to register it. You have to maintain it. You have to gas it up. So basically, it comes with a price tag. Kahit regalo lang yung sasakyan na yan. And then graduate school. Of course, it also has a price tag. Lucky if you're in Bicol University, because tuition, it doesn't cost that much like those of private institutions. However, there are also other expenses that you would need to spend on, particularly when you go to that part where you have to come up with your thesis or dissertation. So it's something that you need to consider. Let's not just jump into this chapter in your life when you go to the graduate school and you're not even prepared financially. Sometimes people would do that. It's a leap of faith. Well, God will provide eventually. But then for most people who wants to prepare, again, thinking how you would strategize to reach that goal, thinking about the price tag would help you really get your goal easily. And the retirement fund, it comes with a price tag. Owning a farmland, again, it has a price tag. And then having with that someone that you want to be with forever, it also comes with a price tag. Why? Because getting married is not free. Getting married nowadays is not cheap. Why? Well, it starts with the process of getting a CENOMAR, a certificate of no marriage, that entails a cost. And then, even if it's a civil wedding, it also entails a cost. Even if you don't have guests nowadays, like during the pandemic, you want to get married, again, it still entails a cost. Why? Because you have to get those documentary requirements, and then you have to give your bride and the ring for the groom, etc., etc. Even if it costs only 1,000, still that is a cost. And of course, it doesn't end in that ceremony. The days following the ceremony, now you will be spending for the two of you, or after a few months, it now becomes a small family where you have your baby, okay, or babies. Okay, so those financial goals, again, sabi ko nga, it always come with a price tag. So you have to prepare for that. So preparing for your future, how do you do it? Plan, save, and of course, invest. Now, here are some money tips for young adults. It always starts with this one. Practice self-control. Can you see yourself in this person? He is torn between eating a fresh salad, a healthy one, or eating perhaps this is a quarter pounder or a double cheeseburger. So which would you choose? Right? So if you have self-control, if you have the discipline, of course, you would want to eat the healthy food, eat the green salad. But then most of us don't have that strong control over ourselves. So as young adults, what can we do to practice self-control? It always starts with stop. Give yourself a few seconds before you decide on something. Okay? Do not be so impulsive. Because for young people, that's the common problem. Most of the young people are impulsive. Naisipan yung gawin ngayon, or na mismo gagawin nyo. Okay? If you want to buy something, if you want to do something, you do it right away. So the proper way of doing it is stop and then think, contemplate. Okay, what should you be thinking about? Ask yourself, what will be the consequence if I do this? What could happen? And another question is, Is this what I really need? So these are some of the questions that you can ask yourself every time you are in a crossroad, or if you will need to decide on something, if you need to decide on something. Now, are you like these people? Well, of course, nowadays, hindi mo na, no? Because we hardly go out or we seldom go out. Lucky for those who are already above 21, you can. But for those who are 21 below, you need to stay home. Nagsistay home nga ba? Okay. So somehow, I know your parents are quite thankful for this pandemic because we all stay home. Medyo nalilimitan ang gastos sa paghingi ng allowance natin. Because if there's no pandemic right now, I know most of you will be in coffee shops, in milk tea houses, in the movie houses, etc. Okay? So, let's see. Now, next thing we do is understand, how do we really earn money? Okay, how do we earn money? Of course, when we work, we earn money. That's hard-earned money. Pero is it that easy? Of course, it's not. Because when we work, we put all our energy onto it. Lalo na if we're doing something that we really actually love to do. Okay? So when we earn our money, we need to understand that not all of our compensation goes to us. Part of it goes to the government. We pay for our taxes, and there are deductions like SSS deduction, deduction, PhilHealth deduction, etc. Okay, so it's a great feeling when at the end of the month you have your own money, your hard-earned money, but it's also fulfilling at the same time to know that we are actually helping the government. Now, at this point in your life that you're still a student, how do you earn your money? Of course, from the allowance that your parents give you. So value it also. So it's not because it's being given to you as an allowance, you should spend it up to the last centavo. If you can actually help your parents, because at this point, how can you help your parents cope financially, lalo na in this time of pandemic? Be very wise in how you spend your allowances. Okay. Now, you can use good budgeting techniques. How do you use good budgeting techniques? It's like this. You have to stay on budget like a boss. And the key to budgeting is actually figuring out how to prioritize. If you know how to prioritize your expenses, okay, you'll stick to your budget. If you tell yourself that for this week, I'm going to spend only like 500 pesos or 400 pesos, stay on that budget. Huwag tayo magpapa-impluensya dun sa mga katabi natin, sa mga barkada natin. Just so you will be spending more than you're supposed to spend for a given period, right? Now, how do we shop? Okay, be a savvy shopper. Paano ba maging savvy shopper? Well, you have to be wise. It's not because an item is expensive, maganda na siya. You know, pwede naman kasing maganda siya, mahal, maganda, pero hindi naman bagay sa'yo. Okay? So, pwede naman galing yun sa ukay-ukay or it's a hand-me-down. But as long as you know how to carry yourself, you'll still good look with even those cheap finds. Okay? So at this point, na hindi pa talaga sarili ninyong pera ang ginagamit ninyo in your expenses. And of course, even if you already have your own job and earning your own money, it's best to spend wisely. For every peso that you earn, pawis at pagod ang puhunan niyo dyan. So it's not right that you just spend it while the lang tayo mag-class. Okay? So, build a budget. Again, prioritize what you should be spending on every time. And don't forget to create an emergency fund. So some people find it really, really hard to save. Why? Because this is what they do. Whenever they have their income, they buy the stuff, probably what they need, and whatever is left, that's what they save. So that's the reason why people can hardly save money, because always, if you have money, if you have your salary, always ang sasabihin, it's not even enough. But if we do this the right way, if you have your money, deduct whatever is the amount that you want to go into your savings, And once the savings deducted, that's what you should spend only. Okay. If you do this formula, you're guaranteed. I know you can build up your emergency fund. So if you're still living with your parents, it's living in a shared household. It's very important also to be a responsible son or daughter. At this point, I know your parents are not expecting much because you're still living with your allowances. But since you're living in a shared household, what can you do to actually help them? Help in the household chores. Okay? Yun lang naman ang hinihingi sa atin ng mga parents natin whenever we're still in school. Okay? It's not your responsibility to provide financially for them. Right? So just be a responsible son and daughter when you're at home. Put of course put everything in order. Okay? Clean up the mess, do the dishes, help in the laundry, etc. I know your parents will be very proud and happy for this. And of course, it's a way of practicing your adulthood. All right? Now, so here are some strategies that can save you thousands. I'll do this very quickly because actually we have very limited time. Alam niyo, whenever I discuss this, it takes me around 1 or 1.5, but today I'm only given 20 minutes. So let's see what I can cover. So I'll try to be as quick as possible. Here are some strategies that can save you thousands. The very first tip is, of course, that yellow emoticon there, that smiley face. What does that mean? If you really want to save, be happy. Anong connection nun sa pagsisave? If you are happy, you are content. Okay? I'd say baliktad. I'd rather say be content in what you have. Because if you're content, you are happy. And if you're happy, you are grateful. There's no space in your mind or in your heart to be envious of other people. So be content with what you have. You will not be envious of other people. Next, of course, illegal activities, avoid that. And vices, smoking and drinking, especially with our sin taxes now, these vices have very high price tags already. Next, take public transportation. Bring lunch to school if you can, if there's already face-to-face classes. But now, eat all you can tayo sa bahay. Okay? And ito, avoid expensive coffees, beverages in cafes, and soft drinks also. You know how much those cost now. So milk tea, like 100, 150 for 1 cup. How often do you drink that? Right? So there are a lot of ways that you can do to actually save your money. Ito pa. What does this mean? Don't be fans of expensive brands. Lalo na pag wala pa naman tayong kakayahan to buy this or we don't have the extra money to buy this. Now, check your load allowances. Are you spending too much? So you might try to look for the best available promo for you that might work for you. And ito, very important, keep calm and just say no. So the reason why so many people would spend a lot is because they can say no to other people. Sinabihan lang, oy, libre mo ako. O, sige, libre ko naman sila. Libre ko kayo. So even if it's beyond your budget, you actually spent on those people who just happen to try to bully you in a way. Right? So dahil sobrang mabait kayo, you can actually say no, sige lang ng sige. And ito, what does it mean? How to save? How to save thousands? Well, for those who are in a relationship already, it's better to stick to one. Just be loyal because too many to mention well, it's not healthy for your heart and for your pocket also. Alright? Now, kailan mo sasabihin sa barkada na pas muna, nag-iipon ako? Hopefully, very, very soon or hopefully after this session, you will be able to say that to your barkada who keep on bugging you, who keep on inviting you to do this and do that and buy this and buy that. Alright? Now, understanding debt. So debt is not a bad thing as long as it was used for a purpose that can actually generate an income that is greater than the interest that was on the debt itself, right? So walang masama sa pag-uutang. The thing is, if you borrow, you need to pay for that amount. Kasi even if it's an institution that you borrow, that's the business of that institution. You have that responsibility to actually pay for it. So that's how you borrow wisely. It's very important to establish a good credit rating here in the Philippines because eventually, if you need to borrow a big amount because you're going to put up a business, etc., the credit history that you have with the lending institutions or with the bank would determine how how trusted you can be by these institutions again, right? Now, you have to notice that since life is full of risks, you need to protect yourself from you need to get yourself protected from risks. So how do you do that? By insuring yourself. Okay, so eventually when you graduate and have your own job and you have your own money already, please consider getting insured. Lalo na po if there are people that's depending on you and your income. Okay? So it's very important to plan now for later in life. You don't plan for your retirement when you retire. You plan for your retirement when you're just starting with your career. Sabi ko nga, when I would discuss this, the best time to plan for your retirement is when you sign that first job contract. So ngayon pa lang, set your goals and have a vision board. Like, how do you want to retire when you're 60 years old? How do you plan to strategize to live a very comfortable retirement? So, why is it important to actually save, invest, and prepare for your retirement? Because this is the reality. We have inflation around us. And this is how it affects us. Here is a demonstration. And this is reality. Your 39 pesos can buy your Coke, burger, and fries. But that was in 1999. In 2006, the same amount can buy burger and Coke. Pero noong 2013, 39 pesos, burger na lang yan. Paano kaya sa 2033? What can you buy with 39 pesos? 2033, it's like 13 years from now. So you're like around how old by that time? 30 years old? Nasa ano kaya? Prime years na pa yan. So if you go into a fast food chain with 39 pesos, ano kaya ibibigay sa inyo? Tubig and ketchup. Perhaps. Okay, we don't know. But yun nga, paliit na ng paliit yung purchasing power ng money natin. That is why we need to let our money grow. That's why it's very important to start very early. Okay? Now, ito, last nito, just a reminder that recently we have an enhanced new generation currency banknotes. So you might see this in circulation already. So we have additional tactile marks for the elderly and visually impaired in the form of intaglio printed pairs of short horizontal lines po sa left and right side, right? So those are embossed prints that will help the visually impaired individuals, right? And of course, the window security thread of the 100, 200, and 500 peso and 1,000 peso, it now features indigenous weaves from the various regions of the country. And the optically variable ink for the 500 and 1,000 pesos color shifts when tilted, right? So there's also a rolling bar effect on the value panel of the 500 peso and 1,000 peso. Okay, so that's it for this morning or this afternoon. I'm not sure when this will be played, but I hope I was able to give you a few insights on financial literacy, on how to handle your personal finances now that you are in college, and in a few years time you'll be professional. So if you will be needing an in-depth discussion about this topic, BSP is very willing to actually do that session free. Okay, so thank you very much, Bicol University, for this opportunity. Good day, everyone.